Alright, very well. My name is Robert Gramillano. I do several things. One of those is I'm a life coach. And as a life coach, I do use emotional intelligence to teach, to make presentations. And there is an assessment that helps people understanding better where they are at with their emotions. So first of all, let me give you a general understanding of what emotional intelligence is. It is the ability to think intelligently and use intelligently our emotions. So there are 7 competencies of emotional intelligence, and this is the first one. The first one is self-awareness. So let me ask you, when you think about self-awareness, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
How you feel. How you feel
All
in
right.
your body.
Okay. What else?
How do you come across to others?
Yes. Okay. One more.
What we're saying to ourselves in our minds.
Self-talk.
Yeah, self-talk.
Okay. Very good. Now, what we want to focus here is emotional self-awareness. Okay. There are different levels of self-awareness, but emotionally, where am I at right now? Before we were talking about being present, right? So being present definitely helps in understanding where we are at right now. One of the biggest problems of the most clients that I meet is they're not present. They project themselves way too much into the future, and therefore they worry. Or they think too much about the past, and they're stuck with regrets. Neither of those is a happy place to be. Present is where we have our full power, and self-awareness is the first step in gaining that kind of sense of self and sense of presence. So, another question for you. Really quickly, can you blurt out 5 adjectives that best describe who you are? Quickly.
British.
Happy,
Nervous.
Enthusiastic.
Scanning.
interested,
Self-aware.
caring,
Brilliant.
Depressed.
Chilling.
I'll be full.
sensitive,
Grateful.
Excited.
Okay, I just want you to bring some awareness that it's not that easy, is it? Alright? It's not that easy to come up. Only 5 out, and we are supposed to know ourselves pretty well, right? And sometimes I understand you're modest, except the guy over there with the brilliant part. But nonetheless, okay? Sometimes we think we have this level of self-awareness, but it's not quite there. Let me ask you another question. How many emotions are there?
4 or 5.
Other opinions?
Limitless.
We're going up with the numbers. 9, 10, 11?
How about 9?
There are 4 basic emotions. Glad, mad, sad, and scared. Glad, mad, sad, and scared. The other ones are derivatives of those. It's important to know the basic emotions because one big step in self-awareness is to name them. Alright? People have told me, how come there is 1 good one and 3 bad ones? Glad, mad, sad, and scared, right? Not quite, okay? We put a judgment to emotions, but that judgment shouldn't be there. There are no positive or negative emotions, they just are. Let me give you an example. We relate mad to anger, right? Anger is a very powerful force. Anger is important. Anger, there will be no social justice without the spark of anger. Anger motivates us to do some great things. Sometimes when we are really fed up with the present situation, that's when we really change and make things happen. anger is good. Now, if we go out and shoot people, not necessarily, but that is the concept. Scared, that is the concept of fear, all right? When we are afraid, but without fear, we'll be fearless, and more likely than not, we'll take unnecessary risks and hurt ourselves. So fear is a great warning system. It's important, it's essential, it's good.
Is nervous an equivalent to fear?
Excuse me?
Is nervous an equivalent to scare? Like, if you
Nervous.
feel nervous.
Nervous. Oh, yes, part of it. Fear is more of an extreme of that. But you're nervous because you're afraid of a certain consequences, right? I'm nervous of speaking in public. Why? I'm afraid of everybody's judgment. So the relationship, yes, is the derivative of fear. Sadness. What's good about sadness? Well, what is good about that is that so much wonderful creative endeavor has come out of sadness. Great composers, great poets, a lot of creative things, artists and so on. So many wonderful things that come out of that initial feeling of sadness. So even that is not negative. So going back to the concept of self-awareness, it's also important when we fall into any of those emotions, to claim them. Because usually what we do is we deny them, we avoid them, we suppress them. No, it's important to be aware of them and name them. So I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I'm giving this speech, I'm afraid of everybody's judgment, I'm afraid of whatever. You know what? When I own it, I don't fall prey to it. And that is really important in overcoming fear. And you can apply the same concept, the same system to each one of the four of them. And that allows you to be in a better place. One more final concept, my conclusion about the concept of self-awareness is without awareness, there is no change. Awareness is the first step towards change. Because if I don't know where I'm at, if I'm not aware of what my present current situation is, I don't have the stimulation, I don't have the motivation to actually bring that change to me. So, take the time to think, take the time to feel these four emotions, take the time to name them, claim them, own them, and there you will find